The horror genre has produced countless iconic films, but some stand out as defining classics that continue to terrify and inspire audiences. These films not only introduced groundbreaking practical effects and unforgettable characters, but also redefined what horror movies could achieve. Evil Dead 1981. Produced on a shoestring budget by Sam Raimi, Evil Dead became a cult classic that redefined independent horror. The film follows Ash Williams, Bruce Campbell, and his friends as they visit a remote cabin in the woods, where they unwittingly unleash demonic forces after reading from the Necronomicon Ex Mortis. What makes Evil Dead so unique is its relentless intensity, inventive cinematography, and over-the-top gore. Raimi's innovative camera work, including the famous shaky cam perspective of the evil force moving through the woods, helped create an immersive and terrifying experience. The film's blend of horror and dark comedy laid the foundation for its sequels and cemented Ash Williams as one of the most iconic horror protagonists. Evil Dead also inspired a vast franchise, including sequels, a TV series, and a modern reboot, proving its lasting appeal in the horror genre. Dawn of the Dead, 1978. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead is widely regarded as one of the greatest zombie films of all time. As a follow-up to Night of the Living Dead, 1968, this sequel expands on the zombie apocalypse scenario, following a group of survivors who take refuge inside a shopping mall. Beyond its groundbreaking special effects by Tom Savini, Dawn of the Dead serves as a biting satire on consumerism, showing mindless zombies wandering a mall in a disturbing parallel to real-life shoppers. The film masterfully balances action, suspense, and social commentary, making it an enduring classic that remains relevant today. The film also helped establish many of the modern zombie tropes seen in later films and TV shows, influencing everything from The Walking Dead to contemporary horror comedies. Reanimator, 1985. Stuart Gordon's Reanimator is a gloriously grotesque take on H.P. Lovecraft's Herbert West Reanimator. The film follows medical student Herbert West, Jeffrey Combs, who discovers a way to bring the dead back to life, with horrific consequences. What sets Reanimator apart from other horror films is its combination of dark humor, excessive gore, and unforgettable performances. Jeffrey Combs delivers a brilliant portrayal of the obsessive and morally ambiguous West, while the film's practical effects push the limits of on-screen horror. With its blend of camp, horror, and comedy, Reanimator remains one of the most entertaining and boundary-pushing films in the genre. It also played a significant role in popularizing Lovecraftian horror in cinema, leading to a cult following and several sequels. Halloween, 1978. John Carpenter's Halloween is the quintessential slasher film, setting the template for decades of horror movies to follow. The story follows Michael Myers, an escaped mental patient who returns to his hometown to stalk and kill babysitter Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis. What makes Halloween so terrifying is its simplicity. Carpenter's use of minimalistic music, long tracking shots, and masterful suspense building creates an atmosphere of pure dread. Michael Myers, with his blank white mask and silent presence, became one of horror's most recognizable and chilling villains. The film's success spawned an entire franchise and solidified Jamie Lee Curtis as the Scream Queen of her era. The film's legacy can still be felt today, influencing countless horror directors and receiving numerous sequels and remakes. A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street introduced one of horror's most creative and terrifying killers, Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund. Unlike traditional slasher villains, Freddy haunts his victims in their dreams, turning nightmares into reality and delivering some of the most surreal and horrifying death scenes in horror history. The film's concept of dream-based horror allowed for groundbreaking practical effects, including Freddy emerging from a wall, a geyser of blood erupting from a bed, and a victim being dragged across the ceiling. The eerie atmosphere and twisted humor made Freddy Krueger one of the most iconic horror antagonists, and A Nightmare on Elm Street remains a genre-defining masterpiece. The film not only launched a long-running franchise, but also changed the landscape of horror by blending supernatural elements with traditional slasher thrills. Friday the 13th, 1980. One of the most successful slasher franchises in history began with Friday the 13th, a film that capitalized on the formula established by Halloween but added a brutal twist. The story follows a group of counselors at Camp Crystal Lake who are stalked and killed one by an unknown assailant. The film's shocking finale revealed that the killer was not Jason Voorhees, as many expected, but his vengeful mother, Pamela Voorhees, Betsy Palmer. Although Jason himself didn't become the hockey-masked icon of the series until later sequels, Friday the 13th laid the groundwork for what would become one of horror's most famous franchises. Its combination of inventive kills, tension, and campfire folklore-style storytelling helped solidify the summer camp slasher trope. The success of Friday the 13th paved the way for numerous sequels, spin-offs, and even a crossover with Freddy Krueger in Freddy vs. Jason. The Thing, 1982. John Carpenter's The Thing is one of the most intense and paranoia-inducing horror films ever made. Based on the novella Who Goes There? The film follows a group of researchers in Antarctica who encounter a shape-shifting alien that assimilates and imitates its victims. The film's practical effects, designed by Rob Bottin, remain some of the most grotesque and impressive in horror history. The transformation scenes are gruesome and nightmarish, creating an overwhelming sense of unease. Carpenter's direction, combined with Ennio Morricone's minimalist and eerie score, enhances the film's claustrophobic tension. The Thing was initially overlooked at the box office, but has since become a revered classic, praised for its psychological horror and groundbreaking special effects. It remains a favorite among horror fans and has been reevaluated as one of the greatest horror films ever made. Creepshow, 1982. A love letter to classic horror comics, Creepshow is an anthology film directed by George A. Romero and written by Stephen King. Featuring 5 terrifying tales, the film embraces a comic book aesthetic with vivid colors, exaggerated lighting, and dramatic panel-style transitions. Each segment delivers a different flavor of horror, from the grotesque revenge story, Father's Day, to the unsettling monster horror of The Crate. Stephen King himself stars in the hilariously tragic The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill. The blend of dark humor, camp, and genuine scares makes Creepshow a one-of-a-kind horror experience that pays homage to the genre's roots. The film's anthology format allowed it to explore multiple horror subgenres, making it a unique entry in classic horror cinema. These films represent some of the best that classic horror has to offer. Whether you're a fan of supernatural terror, slasher thrills, or grotesque body horror, these 8 movies have earned their place in horror history. Their influence can still be seen in modern horror, proving that true terror never fades.